Welcome to another thrilling episode of the Dark Side of Our Haunted Minds podcast. Today, we're diving into the subject cloaked in mystery, conspiracy, and speculation. The
Ye-
Illuminati, P. Diddy, Epstein,
Yes.
are they all connected? This is
It's up in the
That's
air
what
right now, kind of.
when we are Haunted Minds Paranormal. My name is Daniel.
I am Dominic.
And yeah, that's gonna be the main question that we're gonna try and figure out here today. Is it all connected?
I think it could
I-
possibly be.
I think
No
so.
sarcasm there at all.
They know each other too, so
Mhm.
they have plenty of connections, and let me tell you, they have plenty of money too to get away with things that
Yeah.
they shouldn't get away with.
So we're going to dive first. We're going to give a little background on the Illuminati. The Illuminati began in the 18th century in the heart of Bavaria. It was founded May 1st, 1776. A lot of crazy things happened in 1776 all over the world, it seems, by
Yes.
Adam Weishaupt. The Illuminati was originally a group of dedicated to the Enlightenment values and freeing society from the power of the monarchy and the influence from the church. I think we all can see why somebody would do something like that.
Yeah.
It started off as being more like that, but if you actually delve more, and I'm not going to go all into I mean, it's kind of ironic because the person that was the leader of the Illuminati, his name would be King. There was King, and all that kind of King, whatever down the line. They made another monarch type society with their own society that's against monarchy. Makes a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
he was actually a professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt. I don't know if I said that right, but I'm going with it. He envisioned an organization that could promote reason, secularism, and the freedom of thought, but in secret. Members of the Bavarian Illuminati sought to infiltrate power institutions to enact change covertly. That's literally what they started doing from the get, was trying to basically have a secret society, like more secret than even the Masons. The Masons were kind of out there, but weren't out there. I mean, they announced that they exist. We all know they exist. They weren't trying to be secretive about that. But the Illuminati was even secret about there being a name tied to it at all. Like no one knew, or they thought it was myth-like, kind of like what we believe right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's the funny part. It all the way back in the 18th century, over 300 years ago, right? You still had people sitting around like we are right here and talking about conspiracy theories, maybe not doing this, but sitting in a room with each other, talking about conspiracy theories and the Illuminati, just like we are right now. They did 300 years ago. And the
Which
fact
is
that it's
crazy to
still
think about.
going on tells you something. I'm sorry. Myths and stuff die if they're not real. They eventually they fall off. How is it that the Illuminati is still one of those things that everybody believes in and just kind of shrugs your shoulders what can we do, and keeps walking? A lot of things call them out and make them
Make 'em
actually
speak.
make it come to justice.
Yeah.
These one percenters, these one percenters walking around doing whatever the hell they want to do because they got money and they're not afraid to show you. They'll do it right. It's not like they're being covert about, we have so much money we can wipe our ass with $100 bills every day and flush them down the toilet. We care less. That's how much money we have. But
The
there's
Illuminati
starving
is
people.
so much involved with it.
Yeah. It's nuts. And the crazy part is the original Bavarian Illuminati actually didn't last very long. Supposedly by the late 1780s, the organization was outlawed actually by the Bavarian government, and they were forced into hiding. So basically they had, if you got found with anything Illuminati or whatever, it was like it was a death sentence too, by the way. It wasn't just like shackles. You were put to death if they found out you were part of the Illuminati. But they were forced into hiding, so they thought that meant that, like, now that they're forced into hiding and stuff, like, they don't exist anymore. Well, the funny part about it is the ideas of shadowy secret groups controlling the world is like every step through history we've ever had. We've always had people, talking about these things because obviously there's some truth in it, or it would die. Like, it would die out. Like, that's the crazy part to me, is why is it still going on? Just like UFOs, aliens. Like, people don't even believe that UFOs exist, even though the government's literally said they exist. They still think it's bullshit.
Governments, not just ours at that.
Yeah.
Too.
That's what kills me. Is like, you talk to somebody. I mean, it isn't as taboo to talk about. I will say that.
Not anymore, no.
No, not at all. Because there's too much footage for people to say that ain't real. There's just too many. Like, you could be a skeptic all you want. The proof of the matter is the government is telling you and admitting, after covering it up for fucking 80 years, they've been covering up UFOs and saying that they don't exist. And then all of a sudden now they're telling you they exist. Is there's too much evidence to say there isn't. So they have to flip on it. They have to.
I would touch on this topic very briefly, but even the Vatican came out and said that if you experience a paranormal event, to seek your nearest church. They are telling people these things. They're acknowledging it because there's so
crazy.
It's so much proof. And like, for the longest time, they were denying the paranormal. And here they are in today's age, openly talking about it.
Because
UFOs at the Vatican. They were acknowledging them too.
Yeah, you witness it and you encounter it. You encounter the paranormal. So, like,
yes,
the fact that that's shown that, hey, paranormal is legit.
Yeah, they were telling, like, they print out this pamphlet telling people on what to do if said events were to occur.
Yeah, because I mean, it's crazy that they'll admit that there's no such thing as that, but then they'll turn around and say that demons exist, but then like say that the paranormal doesn't exist. It's kind of an oxymoron, don't you think? Like, if you literally have people that go around and literally do exorcisms on people, which means you're taking a demon out of them, the church does that. So how could you like say paranormal don't exist, but hey, I'm gonna,
yeah, I'm just gonna get the demon out of this random little girl, like, and it's just gonna be banished away.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much of that with the church sometimes that it's like
you can't make it up.
Yeah, you can't make it up because they make it make sense. Like, make it make sense. You can't say that demons exist, angels exist, God exists, but even though you literally worship the Father, the Son, and what's that third one?
The Holy Spirit.
Huh.
Or I can make a reference to a Spite song, Despise, but I'm not going to say it on here.
Yeah. But you get where I'm going with this. Like, you literally, they pray to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So you're literally saying right there that you believe in spirits, you believe in paranormal. What they're afraid of is the truth.
They're afraid of reality.
Yeah, they don't want to scare millions of people from the offering plate. You gotta make people feel at ease and at comfort. So you tell them that these things don't exist. Oh, blah, 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 blah. But you literally exorcise demons from people and tell people if they don't be good, they go to hell. So, but we can't see hell, but we have to believe that it exists. It's not a lot different than like paranormal.
No,
not at all.
And even if you look into the Illuminati too, the government has denied it multiple times, saying that there's no trace of the Illuminati. But then you
Yeah.
look at our dollar bill on the back of it.
Yeah.
It has the all-seeing eye on the back of
Yeah.
the dollar bill.
It's the Masonic symbol.
And you
I
can fold
don't
it a certain way,
understand.
can't you? You can fold it a certain way and make something out of it, can't you?
Oh yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can make the Twin Towers. You can make.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you can
Like,
make out of
yeah,
it.
you can. I remember that. Yeah, you can.
There's a guy in the bushes and shit. Like
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
That's wild. I feel like that
It
might have been
is.
like a meant to be thing that they kind of came up with.
And see, that's another thing when we're talking about Illuminati, the Masons and the Illuminati kind of interweave themselves too. I've came in a lot of my readings as people say that a lot of people that were members of the Illuminati were also members of the Freemasons. So yeah, I mean, and then we can even tie into like the other week's podcast about Bohemian Grove here. You have all these 1%ers that are at this place doing these worship rituals that they have said that where did they get these rituals from? Where did they come from to begin with? And they believe Illuminati. That's all those people that are there that are a part of the Illuminati. All the most powerful people in the fucking country. Oops, pardon my language, but in the country. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a wild thought to think about.
Yeah. And
And,
although
like,
this is speculation, we'll
there's
say
gonna be a lot of
speculation. It's pretty obvious that even rumors came out that literally the A bomb was put together at this place. Like they came together and figured out what they were going to do, and they didn't operate with the government, even though they were government officials. They were operating outside government, striking deals and making things happen. And
the guy
yeah.
that was making that bomb, he got the whole Bohemian Grove to himself that night, and he only invited like a certain set number of people, and they all collaborated on making this thing on paper.
Oppenheimer.
I think Oppenheimer was
John
there.
Oppenheimer. That's the guy who was the mastermind behind it. He's the one who put the team together. He's the one who had
and then they took
he had
that paperwork
Marxist.
they came up with and then went and designed it.
And I watched the movie. The movie's great.
If you have not watched that movie, for the viewers at home,
watch it.
Watch it.
It's great. It has a lot of our history inlaid. Even Albert Einstein, someone plays Albert Einstein in it, which is awesome because Oppenheimer did everything that happened in this movie is pretty much dead nuts of what actually happened in real life, like history's account, their best knowledge. And I'm sure, well, I mean, obviously they didn't put Bohemian Grove anywhere in it, obviously, because Hollywood wouldn't do that and expose themselves like that. So, but they gave the everything that we know now, because I mean, stuff's declassified. We can look at stuff that they couldn't look at 20, 30 years ago now. And it's pretty obvious that they had a hit out on Oppenheimer. Like they wanted him gone. They got rid of him. They used him and spit him out. That's what the government does. That's what the military does. They use you, even if they hate you. And if you've seen that movie, that's what they do. He's working with Matt Damon, who literally despised him from the beginning, but ended up making a friend, but hated him because at that time during World War II, it was like patriotism like it was during 9/11. I know you guys were like,
I was
maybe not even born yet, but
I wasn't even born.
I watched the second plane hit the Twin Towers. So like during that time, I was in high school.
I was born in October. It happened in September.
Oh,
yeah.
And literally that's how old I am. I'm ancient. But I remember standing up and cussing in the middle of class and saying, "Holy beep, that's another plane," as it crashed into the side of it. Wow. And the feeling, I was in high school freshman that year. So the feeling, everybody, that's when like half of the people that was in high school that were men were probably going in the military. It was like a patriot thing to do, and everybody was standing strong together, hand in hand. The country had never been closer, kind of thing. Like if you would say at that time that was fake, they would have freaking they would have drug you out in the street. Like that's what I'm saying.
The whole world was like on lockdown whenever 9/11 happened. Like, they were countries that we were feuding with at the time that were giving us remorse because of what happened.
It messed everybody up.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a traumatizing event that
It
happened.
was
yeah.
crazy. I watched it. It was. I never forget it. I'll never forget it. Nope, ever. It was nuts. It
I've
was
seen
freaking
plenty of-
chaos. It was
I've seen
chaos
plenty
in a
of-
country that said that, you know, it never happened. No attacks had ever really happened inland on U.S. soil. Only Hawaii was the only place that had ever been
Oh,
struck
yeah.
by something that
Yeah.
bad. I mean, yeah, the Oklahoma City bombing and stuff, but we're talking outside, you know. But we could also say it was inside too, but I'm not going to go into that on this podcast. But I'll jump back to the Illuminati. Okay, during the 20th century, though, whispers of an all-powerful secret society pulling the strings from behind world events reached a fever pitch. Basically, often most people, when you think of Illuminati, you also think deep state, because those also too have hand in hand.
Yeah.
And you know, so like basically when you hear about people controlling stuff behind the strings, Illuminati, and then you got the deep state, they're basically the same thing. It's basically a hidden network within governments and institutions believed to wield enormous influence.
I believe
Yeah,
it.
from wars to political revolutions, the United States has been right there, sometimes causing them, sometimes causing them on purpose to make it out to, you know, work into better favor for us in the long road. Like we found out that Nam, we shouldn't even been in Nam.
No.
The president after uh not JFK. No, after Nixon resigned, uh Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yes.
He literally is on tape, or it's on tape. It's recorded because it was in the president's office. He should have learned a lesson from Nixon, but it was classified because he was more connected to the deep state than Nixon. I think Nixon got outed because he wouldn't follow through, and Watergate was just one way to get rid of him. But they wanted a war and they got one. Lyndon Johnson said, do whatever basically it takes to get us in on basically to cause a root, you know, start it. And it's on tape, but you don't hear anybody talk about that. No, because the media is controlled by them. But yeah. And another also stuff that's like basically pop culture. It's a, you know, it's in pop culture now. Like Illuminati in pop culture are the same. Like you see, people,
Oh, yeah.
it's on hats, it's on shirts, it's on stuff that, I mean, people aren't even part of it, and they're wearing, you know, symbols of this place that doesn't exist. But it's weird. Like National Treasure, like that whole movie was about the Illuminati. You know, like, and the Masons, like Crossing Inland, like Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. That movie, Illuminati. Like there's so many different things that we've made movies about it, but they never really make out the Illuminati to be bad in the movies. If you notice, they're never negative things that much really about them.
If you think about it, some good things are bad things, and then bad things are good things.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, for sure. So now who are thought to be involved with the Illuminati today? According to conspiracy theorists like us, the Illuminati now consists of the powerful elite, often referred to as the 1%ers, who hold sway over politics, finance, entertainment, everything. They have all the money. They make the rules. They pay off the politicians to do lobby, you know, all the whole thing, whole 9 yards. They get what they want. They pay off, and they live however they want. They live lavish lives, think they're God, and think that no repercussions are going to happen to them down the line because they do things like P. Diddy, Epstein.
And
They literally buy islands.
I think we're like,
it's nuts.
just take a look at
yeah.
Diddy's Star Island that he has on how many celebrities are there.
And Diddy, was connected with everybody. So
Yeah, there's a picture of Diddy and Epstein out online. You can find multiple pictures of them. We knew that they were friends.
yeah, could they be involved in something that hasn't came out yet?
Maybe.
Right.
You just never know that
So
Diddy keeps going on and on. Like it's an
Yep.
ongoing investigation that is just going to keep going.
yeah, and we're gonna do right now. These are all allegations.
Yes.
I mean, they did admit that there was drugs, there was baby oil, lots of it. Let's see. Uh baby oil, baby oil,
there was
guns.
baby oil, and I want to say there was like some toys that he had over like 100 of them at that.
Was Justin Bieber there?
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, he kind of fell off after his whole Baby song, and
He did.
I'm
He
keeping that in. I'm
did.
keeping that
Like-
in too.
And like I don't know his music like that. Like I've never been a fan of Justin Bieber, but like
And
of
now-
course we
I
know
feel
his
bad
music is
for him.
big and it's
yeah,
trendy.
I really do feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him, dude. I feel
Because-
bad for his parents. Not for his parents. I feel bad that he had parents that basically took a cash bribe for their son to come stay at Happy
Because he
Time.
was a nobody whenever that song came out, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden
Usher too.
that song blows up, and it's like, where the fuck did this guy come from? People started listening to all of his music, and now all these allegations are coming out that Diddy
Yeah.
was hanging out with Justin Bieber, and
That well,
now it
yeah.
kind of makes sense. Now
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense on why he acted that way.
yeah,
But
Usher
like we
too.
said- But like we said, it is all speculation.
Yeah.
Yes,
mean-
there's facts to it, but like at the end of the day, it is all speculation. Like speculation. I
Yeah.
want to add, like,
But so from now on, when you hear us talk, it could be we're just talking. If you, it's purely speculation. We'll say
our
stuff
opinion.
that it's our opinion, and that's what the show is. It's our opinion. But I will say this: Usher also was at a young age.
yes,
He wasn't even 18 yet. Whenever Puff Daddy, it was his name at the time, had signed him and had him over, and it was like almost like a rite of passage to these young boys
See, I don't know
that
about
P
that.
Diddy, and you could see him on camera when P Diddy just touched him. You could just see on their faces that they're a victim. Like it just looks like the victim has their arm right around, like you have your arm wrapped around a victim right now.
They don't look happy every time you see anyone with Diddy.
It's like
And
a fake smile.
Yes, like and it, almost like a forced smile for the media.
Yeah, almost everybody. You
yeah.
know that the allegations from his ex are out too, and like literally you see them at red carpets and stuff together, and you can just see by the body language when you put this story of what was going on behind the scenes, and then him, them showing up together to make it look like they're a happy couple. And like he's all flamboyantly happy and stuff because he thinks he's God, and they're just like,
what's even more fucked is that the relationship that he was in, he was originally paying his girlfriend to do sexual acts on him as a prostitute. And I know that I can't really speak about that.
I'll probably have to edit that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, but like, put that into perspective. He was paying this chick before, and then they started dating. And before that, his ex filed a lawsuit against Diddy back in like 2018, and that was hushed up.
He pays them
They
off.
come to it says that they came to a settlement agreement, and nothing ever said.
Have
But
you
2 times now. Not this most recent time, but the 2 chicks before the most recent one. They've filed lawsuits against him for the
Yeah.
same exact crimes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what else is messed up? Like how like remember you weren't alive, but the club shooting, I was young too when this happened, but the club shooting where old dude went down for Puff Daddy because there was a shooting in a
I
club and like somebody,
It was on
I think
video.
somebody, it wasn't on video. It was before camera phones were even a thing. That's why he could have got away with half the crap that he gets with. That's why he has his own little, happy places for everybody to come to him, because he knows that like if he doesn't go out there, they can't get him doing something. So they all come to him.
He could have,
and that,
like I said, I know you kind of want to talk about, but the Michael Jackson and Tupac.
Oh yes, that's a
could have
whole
had a
rabbit
problem in
hole
that
in
too, yeah.
itself.
Yep.
Like there's interviews of both Michael and Tupac stating something about Diddy. In an interview, Michael was asked like on the allegations of him. He replies back, "How about you go down the street and ask that nice man over there?" And now, come to find out, Michael's house used to be down the street from Puff Daddy's house.
Yeah. So
He's had that house for a while.
Yeah, he had it completely surveillanced out too. He had a
Yeah.
camera and everything and everywhere.
And apparently there's an interview with Tupac with another interviewer speaking about it. And it's said that Diddy paid her off not to release that interview, and it's locked away, sealed somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure the government has it now.
At the time, that's what Diddy's thing was. Like, if his name was mentioned, you're getting shushed up. Like, whether that be politely or forcefully.
Basically, the girl he shot in the face, by the way, that survived, he shot her basically in the face. And I don't know if you've ever watched any of the stuff that she started, like after this started happening, where he was like basically couldn't touch her anymore. But she's had threats against her life. Like she claims, I guess there's not really that much evidence, but like there is evidence because she was there and she was screaming in the room that Puff Daddy shot her in the face. And they silenced the people at the hospital to not testify and all that. But she was screaming that as she was being wheeled in.
Wow.
And he still didn't go down. He didn't go to prison. He did. It's messed up, man. He literally shot somebody in the face and walked away with nothing.
Just that's crazy to think about, that he could just get away with almost anything.
Yeah. And it just makes you wonder. Doesn't make you wonder. It's the people try to say rumors. I don't think they're rumors. I mean, these are allegations, yes, but if anybody's like checked the news out lately, actually speaking of the news, let's just show the news.
Let's just show the
And
news. This is 3 days ago.
Man.
This is 3 days ago.
The music mogul is facing 5 new civil lawsuits, including one from a woman who alleges she was raped by Combs when she was 19 years old. Combs is currently being held in a detention center in New York City on separate federal criminal charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty.
NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas joins us now with this exclusive reporting. So, Chloe, walk us through what we should know about these new lawsuits.
Hey there, guys. These are the first civil suits being filed by Texas-based attorney Tony Busby. He held that press conference not long ago in which he said he was representing dozens of accusers and that he would be naming some high-profile individuals besides Combs. These are the first. And so there were 5 suits filed today on behalf of 4 men and 2 women, all of which are remaining anonymous out of fear, according to to these suits. And these allegations, they only name Combs and his businesses and actually a hotel and a department store as defendants. They don't name any other high-profile celebrities. And these complaints span from the years of 1995 all the way up to 2021. They accuse Combs of sexual assault and rape, and we've reached out to his team for comment and have not yet heard back. But I do want you to hear a little bit from my interview that I did just a little while ago with attorney Tony Busby.
There's an overarching theme here, as you probably can see, which is basically Sean Combs feels like he can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants to do it. A lot of the conduct alleged is violent, and threats were made. And I think, but for the fact that Sean Combs was arrested and bail denied, these people would not have come forward.
Busby says he's going to file other civil suits, and this is all coming as Combs is facing a criminal trial this May.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Oh, yeah. As of today, October 17th, that video was posted 3 days ago. And I want to point something out very, very specific, because it said that he pleaded not guilty on all accounts.
Really?
He pleaded not guilty on all accounts.
He has to get out of prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what he's trying to do with this third deal that he put into the third judge on the case.
Trying to get him out on bond, whatever.
Yeah, like I want to say Kanye West that said something about it. Somebody mentioned something about like how he dresses, how Diddy dresses. He is in a completely new environment. The government does not care if you're in jail or not. You're going to wear what they provide you. They don't care.
That's how high. That's how much he thinks of himself.
Yes.
That he thinks that even in prison, his ass should be allowed to wear Gucci. Like, I should be able to wear whatever I want. I'm P. Diddy.
Damn near like moving his whole house inside of his jail cell.
Like Al Capone.
Yeah. He's already tried.
That's what Al Capone did. That's what Al Capone did. Al Capone back in the time, like they literally brought him anything. He had the guards paid off. He had everybody paid off and on his payroll, and they brought him. He basically would get whatever food he wanted, whatever magazines, whatever he wanted. Even there was even speculation of girls, like even like call girls coming in. Like it's nuts, man. On Alcatraz, on an island.
Like that in itself is crazy, and I almost think that we're seeing that now with his case, with Diddy's case.
He doesn't have that luxury
because he could be paying off these guards to hush him up and not say a word on what he's really doing.
Bro, you don't think he's been like, hey, bro, guard, dude, I will give you $100,000 if you bring me this tomorrow. You're trying to tell me that if you're a guard and that's twice your yearly salary, and a dude just wanted like a shirt or like a DVD, like anything, like you'd be like thinking about it in your head, you'd be like, man, $100,000, dude.
Like it could be like a glass of orange juice that he would want, and someone would probably do it.
Yeah, he'd probably say, hey, I'm gonna use your butt cheeks and I'm gonna make orange juice. Come over here, $100,000.
Pretty much. But before we were talking, like before we started the podcast, and I brought up what his defense attorney has came out with. And whenever I tell you guys, this is a load of freaking BS on what he has said. They were asked about the 1,000 bottles of baby oil found in Diddy's house. His defense attorney comes back and says, oh, he has that many because he buys in bulk and his house is so big, so he had to buy multiple bottles. from Costco. From fucking Costco. I don't know if you guys know this for people that shop at Costco, but I'm almost positive that Costco doesn't even carry baby oil.
Probably because he bought it all.
It's because they're trying to prolong the process.
Or make it, they don't want to be attached to it at all. They probably deleted that crap as soon as they were like, Diddy got arrested, they're in his house. Oh crap, he bought like 17,000 cases of baby oil. We gotta delete this. Gone.
Here's my thing though, is like with Sean, like I've never heard of this guy. Like I've heard I've heard of P. Diddy, but I've never heard of Sean. I've never heard of him. And like of course, like I'm not a rap person, but like big names like that you're gonna know.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
I've never known any of his music or anything like that. No. So I just found out a few weeks ago that he got arrested. I know he got arrested like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
In September, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, dude, like I kind of get it that you've never heard of himself before, but somebody like from around that's around my age, that's a house. That's like
the man is 54 years old.
Yeah. And he's connected to the whole rap game. That's what people don't understand. You might not have heard Puff Daddy's music, but you kind of did if you heard like 10 other people's. He owns his own label, bro. He literally puts out some of the biggest songs that's ever been put out in the last 20 years. He's so rich, it's not funny.
The fact that I don't know any of his music.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, that's his music.
Everybody knows me knows.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin Bieber, that's Puff Daddy's music. Those beats, those songs, that comes straight from Puff Daddy. He's the guy making the beats. He's the one making sure. He's like Dr. Dre. He's like the same status as him, except with his own record shit.
I don't know if he wrote. I don't know
It's
if he
weird,
wrote the
dude.
lyrics too, but I do know that he.
That is weird.
He had his hands in it because he signed Justin Bieber. He signed Justin Bieber and like Baby and all those songs, like the biggest song ever, like Baby by Justin Bieber. Puff Daddy, you can look right out on the thing and it'll say right on the the record and stuff like that. Producer. He's a fucking producer.
Yep.
Wow.
And
he owned him.
He owned a lot of people. Usher, Big
Every
E,
song you've ever heard about from Usher, that all comes from that. Yeah. Like some of the biggest people that are out there right now, their childhood were completely destroyed by this man. But yeah, they went on to live great lives because they had to keep their mouths shut to do it. So you can tell by Bieber, dude. He went through addiction.
Tried to out him too, and it's just like
poor Bieber.
How many times does it have to occur for people to wake up about this guy?
Yeah.
First, he took out Tupac. Then he took out Big E. And then once more people tried to speak up about him, like Left Eye, that made she was in Destiny's Child.
No, Left Eye. Lisa Left Eye Lopez was in TLC.
TLC, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
You know, Scrubs. Scrubs, yeah.
I was thinking of that song, but I couldn't remember who it was by. So
Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls.
Yes.
Yep.
But like even she was caught in some like scandal because in an interview, like she was calling people saying how she is going to predict her death.
Wow.
And then come to find out she just randomly drives off the side of a bridge. Like, how do you explain that? She tells people on recording that she's scared for her life, that she loved them, and that she is going to die soon.
That means someone's been following you. You've seen it all. They've been threatening you, doing all kinds of stuff. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, and
because of the rumors of her
Epstein's
coming
right
out.
in the middle of that too. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
this kind of just draws it. I mean, not that the media has really been focused on Epstein lately, but not that they ever really cared. It was just try to get to the next topic anyhow.
He's
As soon
done
as
more. He's done more than what you think he's done.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've watched like whole documentaries on the man. I know what kind of sickness he is. He's
Like,
the sickest of the sick.
even
Yeah.
his island, like some of the
Dude.
famous people that were on that island.
And that's what I'm saying. He literally he had his own island. The Virgin Island. He had his own island.
Yep.
And he brought people in there just to
Psychologically think about that for a
He did.
second.
Yeah.
Imagine being a girl that got enticed and told that, hey, you'll make $10,000 if you come out to the island, and you just have to be around for scenery for old guys, blah blah blah. Like nothing bad's gonna happen to you, nothing. And then you get out there, and then like you realize that you're going to an island you can't swim away from, you can't get away from this place.
And
If they tell you to do something,
helicopter either.
yeah, if they tell you to do something, if you don't do it, you're not going to be found.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So the fear tactic was part of it. That was
Mhm.
all part of it.
Like girls of like underage of 14 blows my mind.
Yeah. With
That's what
like
Dick was doing
princes.
too
Oh
at
yeah.
his house.
Yeah. I mean
With-
like
He would make a promise to these people, and then
Bill
they
Clinton.
wouldn't keep their end of the bargain. So he made them
yeah.
do other things.
One of
And
them
the
reading
crazy,
up on
you know what
Sean
else
Pippen.
is crazy? You know what else just
Fuck.
blows my mind is that Bill Clinton still goes around and
Oh,
is up in front of people and in politics, still making money. And everybody knows that man was flying out to Epstein Island. Everybody blows
Oh,
it off because they're like, oh, yeah, he's a horny old man. We know. Like it's not a thing. Like
Yeah.
this guy literally ran our country for 8 years.
And I think
Okay.
he was a part of the Bohemian Club too.
Oh,
I
I
think he's
guarantee
the
it.
first.
George Bush is.
Yeah.
The Bushes are all part of it. All back to even like their I think father's father was. They've all been related. Like his dad was president, he was
Oh, yeah.
president. Like that just shows right there the power you have. That literally your offspring are becoming president. That should say everything about power you have
Yep.
right there. What's the odds of being president to begin with? What's the odds of another president's kid being a president?
Yeah.
There's
Which
never
that's a
been one.
wild thought to think about too.
Yeah, within like 20 years of each other too.
Yep.
Like it's nuts.
Yep.
And Bush, Daddy Bush, he's the stronger one. He was in the CIA, and basically all the stuff you hear about what happened during the 80s with the CIA, you can blame him for it, but he became president.
Yep.
Like you want to talk about introducing, drugs to certain minorities to kill them off
Mm-hmm.
on purpose. This is known. Is he
Right.
is he in jail? Did he ever go to jail for any of that? Did anybody be held accountable for that? Nope. Nobody.
Everyone that is in said 1%, they are monsters, whether we like to admit it or not. And yeah, they might have triple the amount of money, the triple amount of fame that we do.
Oh, dude, that's not
But,
triple.
like-
It's not even quadruple. Like
Yeah, probably quadruple.
it's
but,
probably gazillion.
like there's so much power in these higher ups that they can literally do whatever they want.
It's
And
nuts.
until the media gets told about it and like it keeps on becoming like a persistent thing that the public is talking about it.
But nothing's happening.
I mean, at schools all around the US, they're banning words from the Diddy case because of how often it's being used.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing, like, honestly.
No.
And they're making jokes about it. Like,
It's
I know
funny.
I make jokes, But like a 6-year-old talking about going to Diddy's house and having a party, I don't feel okay with that.
Like, no.
And, like, there's more people out in the world that I believe have done even worse things than this.
I mean,
Diddy just got caught.
he got caught because,
What hasn't he done though?
Exactly.
but it's just the way the cops went in and stuff. It was definitely heavily orchestrated to cover up the stuff that
Oh,
he
yeah.
knows. I mean, you haven't heard one thing, no shred of evidence besides recordings that we heard. There's some recordings out there.
Oh yeah.
He's actually on recording of being like the way he was, like for
He still
real.
has the recordings of when Michael was alive. Like the very last recording, he has it in his possession. They haven't released it to the public, but it's speculated that they have it in their possession now. Now,
I'm
whether
sure
or not they use that in his court case, I don't know.
it won't come to light. If it
But it won't. Like, I already know it won't.
they already know they can get what they're gonna do, and I know they're gonna do this, and you'll see that they'll focus more on the cases that are against him from past, the stuff he's done. Then that's enough to put him away. I don't see even even though it was a government task force, government thing. Like, was it the FBI is the one who raided his house?
I think
So,
yeah.
so it was a government agency. So he's gonna go to federal prison. Period.
Oh,
In the story already for the stuff he had in there. I don't think they're going to touch on the stuff that's on the videos. I don't think they're going to bring it up.
Because according to police, they have like 9 terabytes worth of like recordings that they have found on all of his mobile devices and everything.
Yeah, he was using it as blackmail.
9 terabytes of data. That's like 22 sheets long per like terabyte.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is you're going to see that we're not going to see it, but what they'll see is obvious, and they already knew about it anyhow. But they'll see the crossover between Epstein and P. Diddy. Is the fact of the matter is both of them were having the same type people, the same type things going on at the same places, just in different locations.
I really
at
do
different times.
that they were in cahoots for a lot of it.
Yep.
Like, I think they were working together in some type of way, because even on Epstein's island, they found a tunnel system, and in Diddy's house, underneath his bed, there is a tunnel system,
and it led to like Michael Jackson's house. Right?
Yeah, it led to everyone's house. That's what they're doing in their investigation right now.
That's
like
crazy. It really is crazy though. Yeah.
Like, they went down there once, like the very first time, and all they could see is just corridor after corridor. Didn't know where any of them led, and now that's what they're doing. And the first one that they just so happened to go to was Michael's house. And that's whenever this whole thing sparked up the speculation, was Diddy a part of it? Then people found that interview with Michael saying, go talk to the guy down the street. And then a couple of years later, he tries to talk about Diddy again, and then
he
nothing.
Gets too much medication.
Yeah,
we've all heard that story over and over. It was an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure it was.
I'm sure it was just a little accident.
It was just an accident, people. What do we know? There's nothing there. Nothing to see here. Next.
Yeah. He had his
And even if it was an accident, what would cause him to do that? You got to think about that also. What kind of guilt that he must have been through if it was an accident? And I'm saying if, because I don't think it was an accident.
No.
Someone orchestrated that shit and planted the seed.
Oh, yeah. I'm just wondering what made the FBI finally do something.
How did he get caught? How did he finally get caught and they took him in?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand.
I think it was the complaints piled up. I think it's because of these these cases right here. There was already cases being put in the works, and the LA and stuff started getting wind that they were coming after his ass, and that's why he wasn't there. He was already tipped off that they're coming for you
Ever
because
since
he was already on a
opened that
plane.
hotline for it, like there's been a like talking to these officers anonymously on this hotline. Over 3,200 people called that hotline saying something about Sean Combs.
AKA Puff Daddy. Wonder why he calls his name Puff
He had
Daddy.
like 5 different names, 6 different names. I don't.
Yeah, there's P Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy.
No, it was Puff Daddy first, and then it was P Diddy, and then it went to Diddy, and then he went back to P Diddy. I think that's pretty much.
I know he was like Brother Love at one point.
He's a weird character.
I mean, just
he's a weirdo.
Like, I have the Wikipedia page pulled up right now. I know the viewers won't be able to see it, but the most recent picture of him in 2023, he looks kind of scary. I won't even lie.
Have you ever seen if you've ever seen old videos of this guy, like MTV used to they did Cribs and they did all that. Like he's always about the camera. He's always about putting on a show. He's always about it. And they showed him one time, like completely destroy his whole entire office because of something not going right. Like they showed his temper. They showed it for a second, and just seeing that and then putting it together now, it's like this dude is dangerous. This man right here is off the chain, like dangerous to others. Like he does not take no for an answer. That is not in his vocabulary. So right now, I think it's great, P. Diddy, that you're locked behind bars and don't have the luxuries because you don't deserve them.
And I don't know.
The fact that where he was then, like the lifestyle he had then, and now he's sitting behind bars, like it's killing him.
Oh yeah.
They said he was on suicide watch because a lot of people that knew him personally said that he would kill himself before he'd be locked in a cage. He's a wild dog. He can't be locked up. Like if you try to lock him up, he's just gonna. I mean, if you put him in population, he might end up just ruling the fucking prison from the inside out by bribing everybody. I mean, you can't even put him in population because if they don't take him out from population, then he'll just start something else on a way to get out.
Yeah, he would just talk his way through anything. He's a master manipulator.
And the fact that how big he is too, he'll able to get away with stuff too,
the star status along with that. Like
untouchable, supposedly. That's what Epstein was too. He thought he was too big to fail. He had so many people, and he was gonna talk. He was gonna spill it, and what they do? Nope. They took care of him. They made sure that he wasn't gonna spill the beans.
Even in Epstein's case, I don't think he was the only guy behind it. He was just the main guy that got caught.
He was the mastermind. He was a very smart man, and he knew exactly what he was doing, and he put it together. Yeah, he's a master manipulator.
More people he's gonna take out with him. Especially with Diddy's case. Like, there's already been big names that are being reported that have been to these parties, have participated in these parties. And let's name off a couple. Will Smith. Kamala Harris has supposedly been.
Really?
Yeah.
The Obamas.
Dude, she used to be around a dude's arm before she was anything. Don't you know that? She was a
I don't know anything about
the only
her.
reason she had her legs up, that's how she got up. That's
Yes.
what she used to get up the ladder. She was a eye candy. There's a video of it that you could watch, bro, of them asking her if that's his daughter, if she
Yeah.
was her daughter, and she was like, no, laughing, like back in her bimbo days.
Mhm.
Literally being asked at a party because she was literally a date of one of these old, powerful men. She's always done that, and that's how she got into office. That's how she stayed in office, and that's how she's still there.
Yep.
And now she's going to be or trying to be our president, and she's
But that's my opinion. I don't want her to win. But I also don't want Trump to win.
I don't want anybody to win either. Like, give us the better option.
Marilyn Manson for president. I vote for that.
I say tell Kennedy to come back, kick Trump out, let Kennedy be top dog, and let like Trump control like the military or something. No, maybe not. Maybe not give him the switches, but I don't know.
That'd be bad.
I think that would end badly.
Well, he already had the switches, bro. He didn't fire anything off. He's the only sitting president to never start a war.
Sorry, just from him being a part of that.
Do you know that actually Trump literally did more for us than any other president because of the stuff he did? He focused on us and made sure that we didn't get into any wars, unneeded wars. He stopped that. And the military industrial complex didn't like that. And I'd say the Illuminati, these 1%ers, these, Bohemian Grove people, all these people, they're the ones who control that. And they didn't like the fact that Trump wasn't getting him into the arms game. That's where all the money's at, is arms and weapons. And they pushed him out. They started, in my opinion, I think it's weird and not convenient, but it's just kind of weird and convenient that virus was released by China, who Trump was putting tariffs on hardcore and said he was going to continue doing it, which he should, because China's a threat. People don't want to admit it, but China's is a real threat. They're a different kind of threat. They're a silent threat. They infiltrate. They already own so much property in the United States. It's not funny. And it's weird how they own them right around military facilities. And the U.S. allows this, which
I don't see how they allow it.
Because they're paid off. Just like the border's open.
Yeah.
Why did that happen? It's all big plan, bro. It's all, that sounds conspiracy theory as hell. Put a tinfoil cap on. But the border's open. Terrorists and whoever, we don't know. They're ditching their passports or their IDs before they come up. Say a different name. And if we don't have them on a list, they just go, okay, that's what your name is. Okay, we'll write it down here. Here you go. Welcome to America. Here's some free stuff that veterans don't get and like the poor don't get. Here you go, random stranger that might be a terrorist. We'll pay your way to come into our country. Vote Democrat.
Yep.
Sorry for the rant. It's ridiculous.
Like, even the ties with North Korea and Russia that we've had underneath Trump and now current day, think about that. We're sending so much money to Ukraine to help with the battle that's currently happening with Ukraine and Russia, and we're helping them.
Yeah, but
why do we have to help them?
Because
that's what I want to know. Okay.
Because that's money. We're spending our own money, but that's the thing. The people that's the thing. They're spending taxpayer money. They're not spending their own money. These these politicians have their hands in arms and all kinds of stuff. They've proven that time and time again, like Halliburton, like Boeing,
Boeing,
like so many different things. And it's just crazy to me that they just keep getting away with it. They just keep getting away with it. They're gonna keep getting away with it till somebody does something about it. Somebody's got to do something about it.
somebody's gonna get caught with their hand on their dick, and it's not good. Like,
Yeah.
Something soon is gonna be leaked. I feel like, and I feel like it's gonna even overtake the Diddy case.
I do too. To take, for
'Cause,
one, it'll draw their
once
attention
the
away.
evidence comes out- once this evidence comes out about Diddy, I think it's gonna open up a lot more questions than it does answers.
I think we're going to see something like the Epstein thing, and
Oh,
we're not going to still see anything. I mean, how long ago was Epstein thing? We still don't have a list.
He
We
died
still,
in 2019.
I want
So,
to
I
say
don't know.
2019
Yeah.
is whenever you passed.
why don't we have like all the
We
lists?
don't
Like,
even have all the names. Some of the
No.
names are still redacted.
why don't we get to know that? If they're using taxpayer funds to do it, that's
we-
was always supposed to be part of it.
I mean, like for Epstein, at least 36 women that he
Oh, yeah.
assaulted.
And that's
That's-
just what we know.
That's just the one. That's the ones that came out and was.
Oh, yeah.
That's the ones that like. A lot of these women are at home, stay at home, or whatever. Doesn't just women that have kids, families, all this stuff. And the last thing they want to do is open up a can of worms and have a target on their back because they know how deep it goes, and are just like, no, we're not gonna risk our family over this, and they just stay quiet because there has to be hundreds, if not thousands, of women that, and boys and men and whatever else. Who knows? We all know that they get pretty freaky, they get weird. I mean, P Diddy and all that baby oil is just creepy enough as it is, man. That's some creepy shit. Like, I don't care who you are.
Was even in the baby oil itself. That in itself is scary.
Well, they said that there was even like the game that was played, like if the party was thrown for you or whatever, if P Diddy handed you a cup, the rule was you had to drink it.
Yeah.
And they were admitting that they were being laced with stuff, that they were putting stuff in their drinks. Like, he was drugging people, man, openly. And
he
people
knew
followed
he was doing
along with it.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
And so did they. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Everybody's blaming it on P. Diddy, but this is more than just P. Diddy. This is bigger than him. Everybody that walked into one of those parties should be held accountable for being fucking sick pieces of shit. Sorry, but they should.
Yep.
No, I agree.
Because, like, even just looking back as far back as 2016, and Sia is like another singer out in the industry. She became famous off of a few songs. I've never listened to her.
No,
but Sia,
Never heard of her.
SIA is how her name is spelled. Sia.
She was one of one of his girlfriends, I think.
That
has charges against him, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it was. That was one of his girlfriends that filed charges against him as well.
I think that might have been the first one, maybe. I'm not really too sure,
I'm not
but
sure.
She put out a tweet on Twitter in 2016, and it was very, very cryptic. Like, it made zero sense. And people took each letter of that sentence, like the first letter, and every single word, and placed them together, and it said, Beyonce kidnapped me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
showed him this.
I remember seeing that too. Now you say that.
So weird.
Yeah, because I'm gonna add to this right now. The Illuminati, seems how that's kind of like what we're talking about, like everybody type thing, kind of into that. Like Epstein obviously was, P. Diddy obviously was. Jay-Z and Beyonce have been known, and you saw Jay-Z take a big hand back, but Jay-Z and P. Diddy were like best friends, man.
Oh yeah.
They were like best friends. So you can't say
there's no doubt that he doesn't know.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the fact that they're best
he
friends.
was at they were at freak out parties together. They came to freak out parties all the time. Yeah.
Both of them were at the parties.
So he knew stuff. He just doesn't
think about this for a second. I'm kind of like reaching, but honestly, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Do you remember how it became like national news that Jada Pinkett cheated on Will Smith and
Oh
like
yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Wonder where that happened at.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't know that. Damn.
Oh yeah.
So just
Yep.
everything goes on there.
It's
Yep.
a big thing. Like, just because Diddy's name isn't necessarily mentioned in some of the cases, you could still place him there.
Yeah.
In
He has
some,
his finger in it somewhere. Like he has his finger in there somewhere.
like deep down, he's somewhere.
And
Like,
the crazy part is that he thinks he has power still, but either way, even if he does get bail and he gets out, he's fucked either way because
oh yeah,
there's no way that somebody isn't going to go after him. There's
There's
even
no
the
way.
Kardashians were there. The Kardashians were at these parties
Oh yeah.
too.
Oh well, that's not even a shock either. I mean, there were priests going there. There were
Yeah.
major politicians. You name it, royalty.
Back in
Fucking
the 90s, he was helping out this newcomer startup, and the dude literally was like made like maybe not even an album with Diddy, and he retired from the rap game to become a full-time priest.
because of what happened to him there. Probably felt so.
Most
Think
likely-
about that.
Most
That's
likely,
messed up.
but putting that into perspective, like a normal everyday guy starting out that didn't care about religion to begin with. I forget what the male's name is, but like he was doing songs with Diddy, and like maybe he had maybe like one or two one-hit wonders, so to speak. But like I just found that crazy in itself. And I wish I would have remembered that dude's name. I saw it on TikTok, someone talking about it. And like, there's just so much to Diddy that is still on the unknown, but you can kind of guess on, hey, this thing could have happened. It kind of makes sense. And people are not realizing it.
Exactly. But I know I don't want to cut this short or anything,
Oh,
but it's already 9:14.
oh,
And so as we conclude this episode, I think everybody needs to remember that the truth often lies somewhere between myth and reality. So whether or not everything is speculative and whether or not we know the truth or will ever know the truth, there's the truth out there. And there is some truth to some of these myths, and I think they will come out. And whether they're the Illuminati or the deep state or gatherings like Bohemian Grove,
oh yeah.
and they could be pulling the strings, they might be figments of our imagination, but I don't believe they are. I think these stories remind us that humanity's is constantly in this state of power struggle between humans and the upper class controlling and manipulating and making. I mean, this has been going on since the beginning of royalty. There was always someone backstabbing somebody for power. It's about money and power.
Yep. And I just want to reiterate too, but like, no matter how much power you have, I don't care who you are. The truth is going to come out one way or another. Now, whether or not it gets covered up in some way, like the Epstein case, because we all know how he was found whenever he passed away, and now new information is still coming out about it. I think it all will tie into something larger. Even larger than, I would even say, the Illuminati. Because
I think the deep state will be the word for it. I think that's the word.
He was 100% mentally sick and fucked up for everything that he did. And the ongoing stuff, you can only imagine how much stuff that he did that isn't out to light, that hasn't came out.
And this, we know so much, but imagine the stuff we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that just makes it sicker because it's like these guys are sick predators that should be locked in a cage for the rest of their lives, and they deserve to be locked away. And they know deep down, they know that they deserve to be right where they are. Either that's in the ground where they really deserve to be, or behind bars, because in the end, that's where you belong if you're that kind of a person.
Of course.
But
yes.
we will all see you guys next week, same time, same day.
Peace
out.
Enjoyed watching. And peace.